I I had I had to make a video only because I've talked about you on the stream so many times. Hey people, this is Joe Pruett, one of the greatest human beings to walk planet Earth as far as I'm concerned. He was one of the very patient technologists who helped me get my start. In fact, he introduced me to Solaris. I had been doing Perl programming, taught myself Perl programming. God, when was that? 94. And here we have Lindsay Perl, another someone I'll eventually make another remembrance for as well. I don't know what it is about, coming close to the 53-year-old mark coming up here, but I guess the more you age, the more you remember the people who've been there for you along the way. And Joe was one of them for me. I mean, this dude knew his shit. And I said shit, that's right, Joe, I'm not Mormon anymore, just in case you're wondering. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read his about page. This is all public information. I'm not doxing anybody here. Joey's a very, very soft-spoken kind of guy. I don't think he would approve of me doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I like bringing the light on people like Joe, and particularly now we're going through such weird times. It's also somewhat serendipitous that LinkedIn would decide to send me a reminder in my notifications say, hey, Joe's got 22 years at the company he founded, one of the many at Spire Technology. Hey, say hi. And I'm like, you know what? I probably should say congrats, which I did. But I want to do it publicly as well, since I have mentioned him on the stream. I don't even know if we've got anybody on the stream yet. Let me just pull up. Let me go out of ignore mode and go back into focus mode. So I can see if we've got anybody on here. No, we haven't got anybody yet. That's fine. This is, and don't worry, I'm gonna stop this video and I'll start a new one. I'll be back to coding on the meta language and the pagan mega language later. But I just wanted to just spend a moment and just read this and just reminisce a little bit about Joey. It's a Friday night. I'm sure a lot of you are off busy watching your various different videos that are of far more significant import. That's fine. I want to talk about Joey. So here, I love this. I'm going to go ahead and read it. He built the internet, says his wife about him. No, I'm not Al Gore, but I was around during the days when you had to sign a document stating that you wouldn't use the ARPA NSF net for commercial purposes. I mean, just think about that sentence for a second, how totally cool that is. Funny how times have changed. I sometimes wonder if Joe would maybe know Dennis Last Miles from Twitch as well. I mean, he's a big Solaris nut as well. He's actually you guys don't know, maybe Dennis was a kernel contributor for, if I get this right, Dennis, sorry, but for the RISC platform for the Linux kernel. Anyway, let's get to you. Funny how times change. When I was helping to build Teleport, yay, Teleport. That's the internet service provider I worked for. It's my third job out of college, which traveled was very fast. The term ISP wasn't being used yet. The web didn't even exist. And we were making things up along the way. Modems evolved from 9600 baud to 56K, and I remember the sweet new noise that 56K modems made. We'll have to pull that up. Can we pull this up right now? Can we do this right now? Is that going to get me banished? All right, so here we go. 56K modem sound. I mean, you know what? This is going to have a very unique interest to a very specific type of person. 56K modem sound. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Of course it's here. I can't hear it though. Here we go. Hello? It's like torture. Oh, here it comes. If you get this far, you're good. Oh. You see, it's like it's like staging up every level. Every level it can do something good there. How's it going, guys? This is not a Rob rant. This is a thanks. Now, this is just a Rob rant. How dare you? Just a Rob rant. If you remove the word rant and just, then yes, it is. I'm just kind of remembering fondly one of the guys who taught me, and I'm kind of roasting him in the best way. To him, a roast would be actually calling him out in a video on the internet. He's a very quiet guy. So anyway, when I was helping it teleport, a single 256K frame relay circuit could support hundreds of users. And this is true. I used to sell these things for another internet service provider called FiberNet back when we were in the days when T1 was a fast connection. And it was at FiberNet that I then decided to move. It's where I learned I wrote FB.pl. It was the first mail processor on the web, as far as I know. Anyway, so crazy. I was processing like thousands of emails from my Mac on my cardboard boxes over college, and nobody cared because they just wanted their forms to be processed, and it was way too complicated to a CGI script to take that data and process it. And I just cut my teeth on Perl in 21 days. That's the book I read so I could get out of Russia, where I was a cruise director. Anyway, going to the Ethernet hubs to switches was very cool. A gigabyte of disk was a sight to behold. This is so true. We were subjected to SYN flood attacks just by the nature of the internet. Sometimes the connection to Europe was a one-way street. We hacked SunOS, not Solaris. I love that. I love that distinction. That's a very subtle distinction. And we learned every different version of the PS command that existed since the dawn of time. Kernels to allow for virtual web hosting. Yes, we did that. And I remember working on the Apache virtual servers. In fact, it's now like a no-brainer on Nginx to add a configuration file for a different virtual server. They would call them. Virtual server has a totally different meaning today, but back then, virtual Apache server was cool. It was because HTTP used the name and the URL of the subdomain, so you can redirect it as an actual server. Or you could use a full domain, whatever. Linux was 0.99 of many moons, and only ran on those toy computers. I ran it I'm just going to say, because Joy, I think it was Joy. I was saying, God, I wish I could get Solaris at home, and I was like seriously coveting the boxes like Last Miles has in his videos all the time, and I was like, oh my God, please, can I have a Spark at home? Please, 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 please. And they did, and I didn't. And he goes, well, you could always set up a Linux box. And I was like, what? And so I went through the pain of finding Linux for Mach, which was the current. I guess I have no idea. I'd have to go back and study. And I put that on my my $3,000 Mac that I had at home, and I booted it and put Linux on it. No do-booting back then. We had tables groaning under the weight of stacks of Sun hardware. This is true. I remember when they, not me, I just was a fly on the wall watching these amazing people. We had rows and rows of racks full of modems. Yes, God, it was so beautiful. And a big plexiglass frame, so when we could bring people into the ISP and they could see the blinky lights on their internet connection that they got. And once a month they'd have everybody come walk through and take a look at how amazing this new internet thing was. And now we just take it for granted. And they all had beautiful blinking lights. We built a window. There it is. There it is. We built a window and put in a couch so we could sit and be mesmerized by the glow. Now people moan if their laptop doesn't have 200 gigs of disk space, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 256 megabytes of display memory, a gigabit Ethernet port, and weighs more than 5 pounds. Always so precise, man. Look at those details. Attention to detail, Joey, even in his ranting. Okay, so enough reminiscing. Basically, I've been around the internet for quite some time. I've learned a few things. You know what? I want to know. This is what people want to know. How is your beard still blonde? I'm so jealous. Anyway, I've learned a few things, but not enough to stay away from it. Of course, you'd have to probably pry him away from this stuff. After having left Teleport, I got sucked back into another IST, SpireTech, which I noticed he was a VP of. I'm still there after 22 years. Such an accomplishment. I still get great pleasure from getting people hooked up in this chaotic mess, even if they just spend their time buying other people's junk. Looking at naughty pictures or leaving rabid comments and blogs. I mean, that's all at a different Usenet. That isn't all that different from Usenet, is it? And that is such an inside joke. The closest thing you'll get to Usenet that I've mentioned is the Go Nuts mailing list. You can actually still get all those mailing lists. So Google pretty much took them all over, which is really sad, actually. I think you can still do it from a web browser or a mailer like Mutt. Which one of these days I should show you guys how to set up. I've been using it, but I don't talk about it a lot because obviously I don't want to show you how to. it's the kind of thing I'd have to set up a separate account for. I'll have to do that. And I don't know if anybody else is really inclined to do command line stuff. Well, let me go read from the peanut gallery today. Just the regular, tame old regulars here on a Friday night. I wouldn't expect to get a lot of people at 10:30. I'm going to be here coding away myself. I just wanted to get this video out there and just say thanks to Joey. If I could find Skizik's boondoggle, I would give him a big old thank you as well. Sometimes I wonder if his webpage was out there. He was the first. That was the first webpage I ever saw that was. He actually used his color background to make it black so nobody could read it in a graphic browser. You could only read it with links. So, I don't know, Joey, if you're still there, you might want to watch some of my other streams. That's all I do. Let's see if I can do a Skizik's boondoggle. I'm holding the faith and I'm staying with the terminal as much as I can. Just want you to know. In honor of Skizik's.com still there? Can I have a bunny? Is this the same dude? I wonder. It doesn't look like it might be. I don't think it is. It's Cloudflare. I maybe. I don't know. This is another reminiscence. Might be. Maybe not Skizix.com. I don't know. Was it .net? No, it was Skizix.net. Let me see if it's still there. .net. You know what? You know what else? You know what is still there? Q7, which I have an account on still, but I can't get to it because I forgot my password. Still there. Oh no, that's not it. Is it .io or is it .com? I can't remember. Is it .org? Oh, there's Q7. So this is Joey's Q7. And I think someplace I still have, man, the email that's on there is going to be ancient. It's going to be more than 20 years old. Anyway, this has been a really fun little blast from the past for me. And I love this teleporting logically to CTO, and System Rare TSSI, one of those Reed College guys. Oh, I don't know. Think about all the other people who've gone to Reed College. That's one college I wish I had had the pleasure of attending, and not graduating from like everybody else. But I'm at BYU. I went to BYU, and so be it. So yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just gonna go close this up. Hopefully you're okay with it. Hi, Greg. I'm going to go ahead and close this stream now so that this video has a nice happy ending, and I'll be restarting. And when I come back, I'm going to be doing more code generation from traversing the AST, and we'll be building up the new. We'll be building up from the new. Well, you know what I've been doing. I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks, so we'll just be doing more of this, and continuing to process this. This as a struct so we can iterate over it and do the code generation for it. So, in case you're wondering, any old folk out there, it's a lot like Bison and Yak, and it's actually Peg is kind of the new thing. So that's what's coming. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back. Thanks so much, Joey, and live long and prosper or whatever. I don't even know if you're a Trek fan. I never got to know him that much. He was the first vegan I'd ever known. In fact, vegan was the first time I heard the word vegan. It was in response to Joey, and I did not dare ask what it was because I was a meat eating Mormon. Here I am. I go back in and out of it all the time, and my wife made us these fantastic meatball sandwiches tonight, and I'm like, oh, this poor animal. But another time. So, Joey, thanks.